beautiful souls out there who are tuning in today, and welcome to Exploring Coaching, a platform where world-class coaches and leaders come together to share their information and insights and wisdom for the benefits of all. Today, I am so excited to have with me here Christina Cruz, all the way from Brisbane, Australia. Okay, and to keep you in surprise or suspense, I will let Christina do her own introduction. Christina, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Hello, Remy. Thank you so much for this beautiful introduction. Love it. So much enthusiasm. My name is Christina, and I'm actually founder of Renewed Mind 2.0. I have recently started this because I have been working with so many coaches, been trying to heal myself from the past, from different traumas, etc. I also work with a coach to help me to find a niche that I can help the most with. And somehow teenagers and supporting parents at the same time popped out straight away into my heart. Because as we know, and obviously I did have most of the challenges during that time frame of my life, and I felt really in my heart that these are people that actually need the most help nowadays, especially around Australia, around Brisbane, even down the south on the Gold Coast. They are nowadays teenagers that are struggling on how to manage their emotions, what to do. They have many addictions. Parents don't know how to cope anymore. It becomes out of control, and obviously they need help. So this is what I'm here for today.
Yes, I totally hear you, Christina, from a parent point of view. And I think nowadays, you just mentioned the word, I have a teenager at home. The word teenager, wow, send a shiver through the body of most parents. They say, wow, time flies so fast. They were just a little boy, little girl. The hand was so tiny. I used to carry him or her around. But today, it seems that the moment I touch their hand, they pull away. They say, hey, mom, dad, don't do that. My friends are watching. Wow. Then slowly, a lot of parents share with me too that it seems that the gap between them grew much bigger and bigger and bigger each day. Not that they don't want or not willing to spend time with them. It's just that the gap, the emotional gap that I mean here, is getting bigger and bigger. Now, before we dive in deeper, Christina, perhaps through your experience, you please share with us what are the top 3 common or major issues that parents face with their teenagers nowadays.
That's a very good point, very big question, and I'll try to summarize it as much as possible and give it concise examples. But what I've seen and what I've observed, especially on different groups on Facebook at the moment, parents are completely struggling on teenagers who actually have a lot of addictions in terms of cigarettes, or it could be different kind of drugs. It could be actually girls getting pregnant and they are barely 14 years old. Teenagers obviously who are not tidying up their room, and it's a mess everywhere and they're not listening. But the last point I would say is also there is a violent behaviors that start to generate out of all this. And we definitely can understand why, because so many families are broken, so many generations have been broken lately. They don't know where and what is their role model today, because each parent is just one mom or one dad, and they're losing the balance. They don't have that balance of masculine and feminine to understand and to actually feeling whole themselves. So they feel incomplete, they feel broken, and they just role model what they know and what they saw, but also what they've been programmed at the very early age. And this is unfortunately from the parents, from the community, from the school, from the environment they grew up with. It's so many influences from outside that makes it even more challenging. And so the reason why teenagers are actually addicted to something, because it can be also porn, it can be other things like that. It's not just because they want to, it's completely because an emotion hasn't been fulfilled, and there is a massive gap that hasn't been fulfilled at the very young age. And it has, like you said, stretch, and more time we spend, more it becomes bigger and harder it becomes to actually heal that spot. Yeah.
I love that you mentioned the massive gap here. Now, being a dad to a pair of teenage twin myself, I have to face this kind of problems too. Not to say that being a life coach myself, but I find that the closer you are to the person that you try to convey this message, or you try to fulfill this emotional gap or something, the harder it is for that person to do it. Now, the reason I brought this up is because I find that through your experience coaching people and all that, in what way does bringing in so-called a third party, like a life coach like you or us being in this field, can help a parents to, fill up this massive gap that has been getting bigger and bigger each day? Please share with us, Christina.
It requires a lot of patience, and it requires especially to make the first step. Once you do the first step as a parent or as a teen, you definitely show, but not show it to people around you, you show it to yourself that you're actually ready to change and you're willing to change, to make that transformation radically. Obviously, it will be a journey, because depending how bigger the gap is, longer it's going to take actually to heal it. Because there are things on between. It's like an obstacle course. You've got things on between, and you have to deal with each challenges you meet along the way. So it could be trauma, it could be actually just an emotion not filled up, and then it could be something else, and then another feeling, and then maybe something has popped in, triggered me, and that I've suppressed years ago, but I haven't realized it actually been suppressed. So things that will be unfolded like an onion, step by step, and as soon as you're ready, that means your body will be able to release those challenges, and you will be able to feel lighter and finally free and finally ready to rewrite your story and to change your habits, to change your new life, and decide to actually be transformed forever. Yeah. Despite the fact that happened in the past, because like we always say, the past doesn't define you. Today, you can rewrite your own story. It's not over yet. And I'm so passionate about that today, and I just want to shout it out loud to all the teenagers and parents. It's not over. You have a solution. Everything can still change. Everything can still happen. You want this, you want that, you want your dreams to come true, your goals. Everything can change, but you need to do the first steps. And as a coach, my aim is actually to guide you through this. The question I will be asking you, for example, on the day during one session is, what do you want to talk about today? What been happening maybe recently that has triggered you, or that really challenges you, or maybe whatever pain you've been feeling inside your body, because actually the pain reveals a specific word of what's going on in your world. You cannot identify it yet, but this is what I'm here to help you identify and see where it comes from. So once it's healed, the pain goes away and we let it go. And as we let go of the old, we give the space to the new to come and to receive it.
Wow. Pain we are talking about here. Yes. Yeah. I do feel the pain. Yeah. Through my experience coaching people, listening to people, parents especially, and me myself included, when you talk about pain, when I do parenting myself at times, I do feel the pain, the emotional pain of doing the parenting in terms of the emotional pain. I look at it, I say, well, this sometimes I have this kind of awareness that, hey, this is not me doing the parenting, this is my parent doing the parenting, work through so-called me. And when I look back, I say, hey, is it me projecting myself into my son or my daughter? Now, what has me, when I was growing up, seeing how my parents do the parenting work, has got to do with how I do my parenting work right now, Christina?
That's a very big question, and I have so many points on it to share with you, Remy. And I think that's my favorite, because it's some people call it like a generation curse. Some people call it like it's actually a generation that the next person hasn't been able to actually find or modify and do something different from what they learned, from what they observed, and from what the role modeling have been in the past generation. And this can be a killer, because obviously you're going to repeat that each generation and nothing's going to change, and it's just going to get worse. But someone at some point might become aware, and that's how awareness is very important. And you can see around you, people start to wake up, because there is everything around us is energy, everything around us is frequency, and we share thoughts. We always say, like, the 5 people you hang out with are the 5 people you will be the 5th person actually to become the same person. Meaning, if you hang out with 4 millionaires, you will be the 5th. If you hang out with 4 addicts, drug addicts, you will be the 5th. So choose your environment wisely. And generation have shown us what they haven't known, what else they haven't known. They just show us what they could repeat and what they could think that is right, but didn't know anything else. And it's very sad, because that's when the mistakes keeps on going, everything, just get worse, and there is no solution behind it. Once the person starts to step back and actually observe maybe others, how they are going, or maybe, to start reading more books, or to start to listen to more podcasts, actually call out for help and maybe look for a better solution, well, that's when they're going to start to break that pattern. They're going to acknowledge that. They're going to break a habit that has been within for too long. But it's going to take time to recreate a new one, because a progress is never linear. A progress is sometimes 3 steps forward and 10 steps back, and a curve here, and let's take a shortcut, and we come back and we go along the way. So be patient. That's where the coach can help you, and really encourage you in your own little achievement and celebration, to remind you that it's a journey. Healing is a journey, and what you've been through is not always light. It can be very heavy, and it can be very deep as well, rooted. But what I want you to say is, the most important thing, and I find it now, that in regards to the environment that we choose, for your case, Remy, like, I don't know if you, for example, you've been schooling your children at home, or did you send them to school or to uni? Or I know that now so many people actually schooling their children at home, and it has been proven that they have a higher level of intelligence compared to those students that have been at school. They have mentioned to it has reached 70% over compared to the ones that go to school. And I think we should talk about this, because the reason why I want to share on that topic is because I don't want my kids to go to school. And so many people are going to be against that. And look, that's fine. That's your choice. But I want them to learn practical things, because school not going to teach you how to be an entrepreneur. School going to teach you how to be an employee. School not going to teach you practical things. They're going to teach you a lot of theory. And that's something I have shared, by the way, on my Instagram page. So if you want to know more, just follow my Instagram, Renewed Mind 2.0. We don't talk the same language. Why some children fail at school is because sometimes teachers don't speak their language. Why sometimes parents don't understand their own child is because they don't understand their language. What I'm saying is, English, yes, can be the same language, but at the level of the soul, how are we talking to one sibling, for example, can be not taking and receive the same way for the other sibling. And this happened in that's a testimony because it happened in my family. I remember my stepdad was very firm, and obviously he loved us so much. He wanted the best for us. And we were 3 girls at the time. Now we are 4. And so he was very tough with us. But to me, more he was tough with me, less encouraged I felt. I always felt like, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough, but I'm never going to be enough. I will fail. I'm not loved. I'm neglected. I had all these bad thoughts started to create it since teenagerhood. And that's when actually I met him. I met him when I was 12 years old. And all those bad thoughts have followed me until I come to Australia. And I came to Australia when I was 21 years old. But when he was talking to my other stepsisters, like, they didn't care. They were like, oh yeah, it's fine, yeah, I understand. But to me, it was not the same language. So just be careful the language you speak with your teen. Understand them where they're at which level they're able to receive. And the 5 Love Languages from Gary Chapman is a very good book because it talks about that. It talks about the 5 love languages and what are your different personality and how you can actually, what type of person you are. So it's very, very interesting.
Wow. I would encourage parents.
Yes.
But I think when you talk about the 5 languages of love, not only it helps in terms of relationship with our children, it helps in terms of relationship with our spouses, friends, others as well. It's a very, very powerful love languages, but we are not going to dive deep into that today. But back to what you mentioned just now about, when I was saying, oh, am I like projecting, the way my parent do parenting, into my kids nowadays. Now, when you talk about breaking the pattern here, okay, after we have the awareness, oh Remy, you got to break the pattern. You as a life coach, you're gonna come up to me and say, Remy, it's time to break the pattern. Now, how can you please give me a simple steps that I can do as a parent to break the first step of
totally. The first step, first step is awareness. So as soon as you become aware of what's going on that you are willing to change, that's what you need to work on. So I definitely encourage my clients and teenagers and parents to, first of all, just write it down. Take a pen, take a notepad, and just write down things that are happening that you don't like about and that you are willing to change. Do you want me to continue?
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah? All right, no worries.
We could go a very long list of that because you can have a list of things, hundreds of it, but if a person never take the very first step, they won't bypass to the second or the third or the fifth or whatever 100 steps that you have. So I think you mentioned a very good first step, awareness. Then after that, I can take up a piece of paper and journal or write down, oh, I'm doing this. This is my old pattern of parenting that doesn't work.
Yes, because from there it will be easier first of all, for the parents to acknowledge and see actually clearer. Once you step back and you look at the paper, you're like, oh, actually, oh my gosh, that's a very long list. And so then we're going to prioritize what you want to work on first. But we will unfold each each different pattern that you want to modify, that you want to transform at the time, because each pattern has its own root and it can be very deep and it can take time to unfold. But as you said it well, Remy, yes. First of all, awareness, acknowledge it and recognize it. It's there. Write it down what you don't like, because then it's something we can work on and find the solution together for it. And the coach, as a coach, me, I will be guiding you through the step as it goes.
Yes, definitely. Because the reason I say don't continue on your list is because you may give a person a list full of things that can break the pattern and all that, but it doesn't work that way. Through my experience, I think working with a coach slowly, like you say, unpeeling the onions, that works more effectively, and it gives more meaningful to the journey towards building better relationship with a teenage. For example, it is more effective, I would say.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And you can be surprised what unfolds, like more we get to the root of it. Sometimes you would not have thought of one thing and it's just like, oh, it was there all along. And because it gets into your subconscious so deeply since you're a child, and you have been programmed that way. Yeah. And it's not your fault. Just know it's not your fault. It's there, but we'll work together, and you're not alone for that.
Yes. Of course, we are not here to blame any parents, on their parenthood thing or what. We are doing our best we can with what we have.
Totally.
And all that, right? It's true. Life is a learning process. And when you say peeling the onion, while me peeling the onion myself in this parenthood journey, I discovered that there's one more important areas, very, very important, that's related to what you just mentioned just now, the subconscious mind. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of things, a lot of patterns has been recycling itself without me realizing it. I'm on sort of like an automated mode kind of parenting. That's why I have clashes with my kids. I have issues, communication problems, and all that. And when I really sit down and reflect, then I realize there's one huge area which called inner child.
Yeah.
Inner child in me, the wounded inner child in me that is yearning, for attentions, like you mentioned earlier, like whether I'm good enough or not. So that affects somehow the way I do parenting too, and it is much more obvious when it comes to teenage, because like you say, they have developed their own sense of beliefs, sets of values and all that. It's going to two worlds trying to merge together. Well, you can imagine that how head on things will be. So if let's say as a life coach, through your experience, if a person has unresolved trauma, let's say me being a parent myself, if I have unresolved trauma myself, will that somehow affect a lot in the way I do parenting? Please share this, Christina.
Love that. It's definitely a big question. It will affect, yes. To start with that, yes. The reason why is because any unresolved emotion, any unresolved trauma, gonna pursue you until you resolve it. We are here as a soul in a human body for a purpose. And our mission is to actually find the answers to our story. When we don't unresolve our own emotions, trauma, challenges, later as an adult, it's going to be suppressed and it's still going to be down and present, but it will make surface, like it will reappear in another shape. It can be triggered, from your own child, from your own teenager. Why is this happening to him? Oh, it seems familiar, and it will seem familiar because that's the level where your body and mind are. It seems familiar, so it feels safe. That's all that your body have known, because the body is a memory as well. It's not just the mind. And as soon as the body feels safe, even the situation is not safe. And I know it's insane to think of that, but that's what you got used to. But it can be better. But it's hard to get to that better because it's out of your comfort zone. And that's why nowadays we're all getting stuck in our own cocoon and like, oh no, it feels safe. And we don't want to grow. And oh no, I'm fine here. I don't want to do much. I just do the strict minimum. But it actually brings you to your own, if I can imagine that way, to your own death. It's not what you are here for. And if you miss out on overcoming those traumas, I know it's painful. I know sitting down by yourself with your emotion, or even with a coach, for the first time, you're like, you have no idea, you don't know what to do. Yeah, it's painful. But you know what? Like we always say, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. There are blessings on the other side. And just by saying that, it gives me goosebumps. And you know what? Goosebumps is actually a good sign, because that means it's true. There are blessings. And I did it so many times. I definitely would love to encourage everyone who hasn't tried yet to just sit down. You don't want to do it alone, it's okay. Just call out for a coach, because the coach will never judge you. The coach will give you space. The coach will guide you and make the environment safe for you to actually share the most darkest things and all your thoughts and everything that you have inside you, to bring it back to light and to release them. And you're gonna see, you're gonna experiment it, you're gonna feel so much lighter, because I did it. And you guess what I said once I've done all that healing? I just said, oh my gosh, why I haven't done it earlier? Why did it took me so long to actually step in just for myself? Like I said at the beginning, you step for yourself, you don't step for others. To actually release all that weight. And because you are vibrating this, negative energy, you cannot vibrate the positive energy. It's like, imagine your wardrobe with full of old clothes that you've been wearing for 20 years, and some are very old, etc. But you're trying to fit new suits, new beautiful shoes, new clothes that 20 years later, but they cannot fit in the wardrobe, because the wardrobe is like maybe 1.5 meters long, and that's it. You need to get rid of the old to give space to the new. That's the law. Same as negative energy cannot be mixed with positive energy. You need to get rid of a negative energy to give a space to the positive energy. And so as much as you will be in first bad emotions, trauma, suppress, you can suppress as much as you want, but you know what? It's gonna be worse. Each day you spend, each weeks you spend, each month, years, it's gonna be worse. And the wound gonna be the same on your child, because it's subconscious. You're doing it automatically. And whatever you have known, you're gonna automatically do it on your child, even if you don't want to, because it's your program. Unless you decide to change. Once you decide to change, that's when the new comes in. And that's when the new result, positivity, new solution comes in. And I did that. And I have transformed so much in the past 4 months recently, because I've been working on my own healing journey, on my inner child. I have truly reconnected with my inner child so deeply each and single day. But I love myself. I love myself so much. And there's so many more other things that I want to share with you, but maybe it will be fun another time.
Yes, wow. That sounds so much, like profound to parents that seems to get lost or stuck and don't know what to do. They thought that they are their issues, or their teenage children are the issues of here in terms of communications or emotions or what. But based on what you shared just now, I think healing the inner child in a person, it helps a lot in the way a person do parenting. It helps a lot. Especially
It does.
you mentioned about the mental uncluttering part of a person. How can I come with the new ways, new ideas, creative way to communicate with my teenage kids when I myself bring a whole bunch of old patterns, belief and values brought down from generations to generations. Like I'm holding, emotional holders bring along all those emotions that doesn't serve me well. But I think that's where a life coach comes in, like what you mentioned just now. You have a life coach of your own, or you being a life coach to someone, helping them to do this mental uncluttering through inner child work. Because to a layman, I may hear people saying, oh, Remy, you have this inner child thing, inner child that, but to many, in fact, they say, Remy, I already grown up. Look at how old am I? I'm 40 plus, I'm 50 plus, I'm 60 plus. There's no such thing as inner child anymore. I'm already a grown up, matured person. I say, well, let's sit down and talk and see. Then I think, like what the work that you did for your past 3 months, 4 months, slowly the inner child will emerge. And that's where I think a person will realize that, oh, it's not me, this is me. Like you said, maybe 9 years old, 7 years old, still there, yearning for attentions. Why am I behaving so angry? Is it because I'm not being heard? I don't feel matter? But why am I channeling all this to my kids and put the blame on them, saying that, hey, because you're not listening to me, you make me so angry, you make me so disappointed. Who is disappointed with who here? That's the question.
Yeah, that's right. And as soon as you are not able to do the work on yourself to find the solution, you are not able to share the right solutions with your own children. So you cannot expect them to come out with new ideas, or even for yourself, you won't be able to expect to have that new version of yourself coming out because you haven't done the work on yourself.
So
and as soon as you can feel it fully and you feel whole, finally, you can finally share that result. Yeah.
So
beautiful.
Christina, will like engaging you as my life coach, if I'm a parent, I have issue with my teenage kids, will you give me tools of, let's say I have communication issues. Each time I try to talk with my teenage kids, they ended up yelling at each other and all that. Will engaging you as a life coach provide me some communication tools, so-called tools, that I can use it, right away with the way I communicate with my teenage kids?
Oh yeah, definitely. First of all, you want to avoid the argument part of it. And I know it's the most challenging one. And second of all, find their love language. Find what they like. If their love language is word of affirmation, or having gifts, or just, the physical touch, if it's just giving them a hug to self-regulate when they need to, or when they're happy to actually hold them the space for it. I know there are over 2, but I can't really remember about it. Once you find their love language, you can finally know how to approach them and talk to them better. I know that what works the best with toddlers, for example, because I'm also working with the little ones, with the toddlers.
Okay.
It's always good and healthier to give them 2 options, and also explain them why. Sometimes at the kindergarten as well, children have the same behaviors that a teen it's funny because you can find them already having attitude, having a bit of sassiness, especially for the girls, or like affirming themselves. But it's actually like a pre teenagehood.
Okay.
You observe that, it's very funny. And give them always two choices, but explain them why you're giving them these two choices. They might be grumpy, oh no, I don't want to hear about it. Like, okay, you know what, I give you time. I give you maybe 10 days. One day, I give you maybe 2 hours to think about it. But please come back to me with an answer. And, you know, it goes both ways. You're a parent who is here to help them out, to get out there into the world, to grow. You share with them information. They will need to come back for you with affirmations. Otherwise, there will be consequences. And I'll let you choose your consequences. Depend on the level where they're at. It can be very easy sometimes to, you know, confiscate a phone, a mobile. Oh yeah, but I cannot reach out my friend. Yeah, I grew up without a mobile phone myself, so you need to find your own solution. And you know what? It actually will be somehow funny to see them how they're going to find out their own solution on how to deal with such challenges, because then it allows their brain to find a solution to it, like problem solving exercises.
Yes.
More that way.
Interesting.
I hope it helps.
Now, I think a lot of parents, what they are looking for over here, it's a transformation way of parenting, not changes, because changes are very short-term kind of thing. I can change to another person today, you know, then tomorrow I will change back. No, that's not kind of a changes that a lot of parents are looking for nowadays. Can you please share a one short example through your coaching experience that you have coached parent? Is there any transformational process that a parent has been through after getting coached by a life coach?
Oh, sure. I've actually met someone who helped me a lot to understand his way of observing teenagers as well. His name is Mitch. He's an amazing coach where he helps other people to find their own voice. I hope he's watching. And I actually did an exercise with him, and it was so uncomfortable. But I overcame it after a week. It only took me a week, and we did just one session, 1 hour. And after that, he already saw my transformation. But why I'm saying that is because I did this. We do also the same thing, but I did the same thing with one of a mom. For a week, I encourage the mom until our next session to simply listen to her teenagers at home. I say, when your teen wants to come to you and chat with you, what do you usually do? And she told me, oh, usually I'm doing the dishes, I have to pack the lunch boxes, I have to do this, and then my husband is calling out. And I'm like, so do you think your child is actually getting the attention at that point? Do you think he's feeling heard, loved, seen, wanted, and helped? She said no. I say, how about next time your child is coming towards you and ask something, or just ask for your time, how about you just take 5 minutes, sit down, look to your teen into his eyes, and simply say, I'm listening. What do you want to share with me today? And just listen. If on the moment you don't want to give an answer, or you just feel like with what he's asking, it's not, like it might trigger you, it might be, fear, stress, anger. I said, take a deep breath in. Say, give me 1 hour, give me maybe 5 minutes. I will think about it. I will come back to you with an answer. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes. But just give me the time that I need to come back to you with my best answer. And she stepped back and she said, oh. And I said, how do you feel now? How do you feel if I tell you the same thing? And she told me it gives me the space, it makes me more relaxed, it makes me time to analyze things a bit more smoothly. And I say, how is your teen feeling when you give him that space? And she told me, our relationship has changed. Because all the time now, instead of approaching me a bit more, not violent, but a bit more like stepping into the plate, he's feeling heard, he's feeling loved, he's definitely respecting more his mom and the time that the mom, gave to her husband, to his teen, to the household, etc., etc. And that brings a better harmony in the house. So that was definitely a biggest achievement for both of them in the house. But not only them, also for the husband and for whoever is invited in the house.
Wow. Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Based on what you shared just now, something comes up. And I was thinking, people care so much. Yes, it's good about clearing space physically. They want to have a nice house, big space, big cars, big rooms, and all that. Everything is big. They want to create space. But one thing that people neglect a lot nowadays, in the beginning I was one of them too, forgot that there's another space that I need to create, the mental space, the safe space, the emotional space that I need to create for the person that I want to communicate or have a relationship with, so that, like you mentioned just now, the person will be able to voice out, without being judged. Like what we are having right now, we're creating space for each other. I'm hearing you out based on what you experience, based on what you have learned. I think this gives you a feeling of you're being heard, you're being acknowledged. That matters a lot to a person's self-esteem as well. I think that will give respect to each other. Wow, my dad is hearing me out, my mom is hearing me out. Instead of demand, hey, I'm a dad, you gotta listen to me, or I'm your mom, you gotta listen to me. At the end, no one's listened, the neighbor is the one listening.
Yes, exactly. And it starts with you. As much as better your role model with behaviors, calmness, peace, and having that balance, you will see that all the environment around you will just smooth down as well with it.
Yes.
And that will stop that. We are too busy nowadays, so busy, but we need to take the time to calm down. There is a reason why we say calm down.
So I think
very important.
They say, I think mindfulness is not the new thing, but it's the thing that should be on top of the list of a lot of things that we do. Mindfulness in relationship, because I can be here with you, but my mind is somewhere else. And, hey, Remy, are you here? Are you here? Being mindful means a lot. Like, okay, Christina, I'm all yours for the next 30 minutes. Wow, are you sure? At times when I say that to someone, okay, in this session, I am all yours for the next 45 minutes. Then the person will be confused, looking at me. What do you mean? Are you sure? Because we seldom come across people that tell us, I'm all yours, I'm all ears, listening to you, 100% me giving it to you. Wow. To me, it means the whole world if someone would have told me that. I'm all ears, listening.
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely.
being mindful of time, Christina,
Yes.
to all beautiful parents who are tuning in, who have a teenage child or children, having these issues and all that. It's normal, okay? I'm one of them, no one is perfect, everyone is doing their best they can. But from a coaching perspective, what would be your biggest takeaway that you would like to, give these parents who are tuning in today? Please share.
Biggest takeaway. Love yourself. Celebrate yourself no matter what. You think you are doing wrong? Please don't. The language you start to speak to yourself will definitely duplicate on your children. Start with you. Start talking to yourself positively because you're doing the best you really can. I'm going to finish on that.
Lovely.
Thanks, Remy.
Thank you
So
much.
good to be invited with you.
You're welcome. So thank you so much to all who are tuning in today. If you feel that you're stuck somewhere, you have issues that you would like to go deeper to work on, feel free to get in touch with Coach Christina here, or you can get in touch with me. You can be contacted, contact info at the screen below. And always remember that you are not alone, and you never have to be alone in this parenting journey. You have us as a life coach working together on this beautiful journey of parenting. So thank you, and see you all again. Bye bye.
Thank you. We love you all. Bye, guys.